In this video, I'm sharing 3 amazing one-pot comfort meals. I love these because I'm using my Rock everyday pan. You can use a Dutch oven, a cast iron pot, or any big pot you have that can sear meat and go under your broiler.
First up, I'm making cheesy noodles with Italian sausage. I have this package of hot Italian sausage. I'm removing the casings and I'm only using 3 links, so about 8 ounces of sausage, or you can already use crumbled ground sausage or ground beef if you'd like. I heat that through using my mix and chop to get it all crumbled. And now I'm going to add 3 whole garlic cloves that I've minced in my garlic press. And I'm going to get that all combined. Next, I'm going to add 3 cups of chicken broth. And I'm also going to add a jar of marinara sauce. Any brand, any flavor will do, but I really like the Rao's, and I'm using their roasted garlic this time. I'll give that a quick stir and then we're ready to add the pasta. For the pasta, I'm going to use penne, and I actually have this chickpea penne, but you can use any shell or any tube of pasta that you enjoy. I'm using about 12 ounces. I'm going to stir that all together. I'm going to add the lid and let this come up to a boil. Then I'll reduce the heat so it simmers for about 7 to 9 minutes.
You want it to be cooked but still firm. Then when it's done, we're going to add 4 ounces of cream cheese to the mix, and we're also going to add fresh basil leaves. I have sliced these into chiffonade ribbons, adding them to the mixture, stirring it up really well for that cream cheese to melt. And now I have 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs along with 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese that's shredded, and I'm going to put that on top along with the fresh basil, and I'm going to put that under the broiler for just a few minutes for the cheese to melt. That's optional. It'll melt if you put a lid on it, but look at this. Look how cheesy, look how rich, and this is super delicious, and that basil is the perfect brightness and punch. The next one-pot meal I'm making includes this lamb breastplate that I got from Aldi. Now, the recipe did call for lamb shoulder, but I couldn't find that, so I substituted with this lamb breastplate. You could also use pork shoulder if you can't find any of these lamb products. But this lamb breastplate was new to me. I really wanted to try it. First thing I did was trim the fat and cut it into more manageable size pieces. Add it to my crock and covered it with Cavender's, my favorite Greek seasoning, on both sides. And I made sure to get a good sear on all of the pieces. This will help render that fat and also add so much flavor to the final dish. While my lamb was cooking, I prepped my vegetables, and this is where the dishes also got so much flavor, is because I'm going to use eggplant. This is the one eggplant that actually made it from my husband's garden, but you can get eggplant. I've seen it also at Aldi and in your local grocery stores, and you just need one, and I'm slicing and cubing it into little pieces. And what's so great about eggplant is it's a heartier vegetable, and it's almost like a sponge. It takes on the flavors of what you cook it with. I also chop 1 yellow pepper, 1 green pepper, and 2 Roma tomatoes. I'm going to now remove my meat from my crock pot, and I'm going to add all those vegetables in that oil and all that wonderful flavor. I'll add a tablespoon of minced garlic and stir that all in, and then I'm going to add this pot onto my slow cooker base to finish.
All right, we got the meat submerged underneath the vegetables so it'll cook in those juices and break down. And now we have our slow cooker on low for 6 hours. We'll go ahead and cover this and let it do its thing. To thicken our sauce up just a little, I'm gonna add a little bit of tomato paste. I always have tomato paste in the freezer, so I'm just gonna break off a little chunk of this and throw it right in there. But isn't that looking so good? It smells delicious. This came out so delicious. It is such a wonderful dinner. I served it over some quinoa, but you can serve it over couscous. That would be great. Or some rice, maybe even some mashed potatoes. Just love how it turned out. So flavorful. That lamb is such a good, rich meat. And to give it some freshness and brightness, I just served some cucumbers on the side with some blue cheese and some tomatoes. This is a winner dinner.
This next recipe is the perfect comfort meal, baked macaroni and cheese with shrimp. I take 1.5 pounds of medium raw shrimp that's been peeled, deveined, and the tails are removed. I'm cooking that in 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of dry sherry, and I'll get that cooked with the shrimp, cooking it about 2 to 3 minutes or until it's pink and cooked through. Next, I'm melting 4 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to add to that 1/4 cup of flour because I'm going to make a roux. So once I have that flour added, I'm going to cook it through so there's no dry bits of flour remaining. I have 3.5 cups of milk, which I'm going to add 1 cup at a time, whisking it constantly until my mixture is smooth. I'll add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard and then a little bit of salt. I'll cook it covered 3 to 5 minutes or until that mixture comes to a simmer. Now my pasta gets added, and that is 8 ounces of rigatoni pasta, about 2 cups. I'm going to submerge it underneath all the liquid, that way it gets cooked through. Now for the best part, the cheese. I'm adding 6 ounces of sharp white cheddar cheese that's shredded and also 4 ounces of fontina cheese. You can also use Gouda or provolone, whatever you like. I am going to reserve 1 cup of the cheddar cheese because that is going to go on the top at the end. And I'm going to cover it with the lid. It's going to go into the oven. I'm going to bake it covered for 30 to 35 minutes. It'll bake at 400 degrees, and about halfway through, I will take it out and make sure I stir it really, really well. This makes sure that my pasta gets evenly cooked and all the cheese gets melted throughout. I'll put it back in the oven for the remaining 15 minutes. My shrimp has been waiting patiently to be added, and now it is time. I'm going to add it to my mixture after it's been cooked. I'm getting it all underneath, mixed in with that pasta, and I'll mix 1 cup of breadcrumbs with that remaining shredded cheese, and I'll top the entire thing with it. Then I'm going to put it under the broiler for just a few minutes for that cheese to get nice and crunchy and crisp. And check this out. It is perfect. The cheesy topping made a nice crunchy layer, a nice perfect balance to that rich, smooth mac and cheese with the pasta. The cheeses are perfect. This was so yummy, the perfect comfort meal. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll leave recipes below and a link to my favorite rock crock pans from Pampered Chef. Thanks so much. See you on the next video.